Welcome to Back to the Feature, where I watch the full movie so you don't have to. I'm your host, Wynn, and today we're watching Return of the Living Dead from 1985. This movie is just pure fun in my opinion. The movie starts at the Uneeda Medical Supply Warehouse in Louisville, Kentucky on July 3, 1984. This is where we meet the supervisor Frank, played by the amazing James Karen, as he is showing a new employee named Freddy the ropes. Freddy gets the VIP tour where Frank shows him skeletons with perfect teeth, split cadaver dogs, and a fully intact human cadaver hanging in the freezer. And then he saved the best for last. He starts off by telling Freddy the tale of how they accidentally received some drums from the military 14 years ago. He's telling this story like they're sitting around a campfire telling ghost stories. He explains that the drums are filled with bodies of victims from a chemical spill. Frank takes him down to the basement so Freddy can see that he's really telling the truth. You pretty much can guess what happens next. Yep, Frank is showing off and bangs on the side of the drum, causing the gas inside to leak out. Both men are knocked out, and then the story really takes off. While the opening credits roll, we see what happens when you touch shit that you shouldn't. The corpse inside the drum starts to melt and the gas goes into the ventilation shaft and up to the rest of the building, including the freezer where Cadaver Dude is. While Frank and Freddy take a gas nap, we meet Freddy's motley crew of friends that are waiting for him to get off work. They have names like Spider, Trash, Scuzz, and Suicide, and they're all snappy dressers. As luck would have it, there just happens to be a creepy cemetery right across the street where they can hang out and party while they wait. You know, like we all used to do back in the day. The guys finally wake up and they're looking a little worse for wear. By the time they get back upstairs, they quickly realize something is different. The fact that all of the interesting medical marvels have now come back to life is a pretty good clue. Frank and Freddy freak out and call their boss Burt for help, and he's not happy about Frank messing with the drums. Burt quickly comes up with a plan though. Get rid of all the evidence and keep their mouths shut. That's it. That's the plan. He doesn't want to get sued or investigated by the government. The first piece of evidence they have to deal with though is the angry cadaver dude locked in the freezer. Their plan? Freddy unlocks the door, then Frank brains Cadaver Dude in the head with a pickaxe. I laughed my ass off during this scene. One of the funniest damn things I've ever seen in a movie. While all hell is breaking loose at the warehouse, the party is just getting started over at the old cemetery. They've got music blaring and then Trash decides to jump up on top of a tomb and start dancing naked. That's right, gratuitous nudity. Back at the warehouse, the guys learn that a pickaxe to the brain does absolutely nothing. So Burt decides to chop up Cadaver Dude into smaller pieces, place the parts in trash bags, and take them over to his friend Ernie, who runs the mortuary next door. The idea is to get Ernie to destroy the parts in his crematorium. Seems like a pretty solid plan, doesn't it? When we meet Ernie, we learn he's a pretty old school mortician who carries a gun at all times. It takes a bit of convincing, but Burt gets Ernie to destroy the body parts in the crematorium. Just like that one episode of Sesame Street. Freddy's girlfriend Tina decides to leave the party to see what's taken Freddy so long. The warehouse is empty when she arrives, so she goes to the basement to look for him. Now it's obvious he's not down there, but that doesn't stop her from being nosy. She walks right up to the drum that spilled the gas. When she gets close, we see that the glass is broken on the top and the body inside is gone. And this is where we meet Tarman for the first time. That's right, these zombies can talk. This is the first sign that these zombies are not George Romero zombies. The parts go up in smoke as planned, right up through the chimney and into the night sky where it hits the atmosphere and causes it to rain. The rain comes down, ruining the cemetery party and feeling like acid rain. Then it seeps into the ground and into the buried caskets. At first the group of friends seek shelter in the car, but the convertible top isn't doing much to protect them. When it becomes too much, they run to the warehouse for cover, but little do they know what they're walking into. Tarman is after Tina, and they run right into the middle of it and are caught off guard. Poor Suicide is killed by Tarman while the others just watch in horror. Back at the mortuary, Ernie has called some paramedics to come check out Frank and Freddy. They're not looking good and are really sick from inhaling the gas. This is another one of my favorite scenes. The paramedics arrive and check their vitals, but can't seem to find any. At first they think it's their equipment, but really it's just Frank and Freddy.
No blood pressure, no pulse.
What do you mean, no blood pressure, no pulse?
Watching them learn that they're technically dead is hilarious. The gang locks Tarman in the basement and decide to go over to the mortuary. But as luck would have it, they have to go through the cemetery to get there. The cemetery is already flooding, so they take shelter under the overhang of a mausoleum. But then something happens. Everyone scatters like rats, leaving poor, still naked trash left behind and surrounded by the living dead. From this point forward, anyone taken down by the living dead return as one of them. The first one to do so is Trash. At this point, there are zombies everywhere, and they're smart. They even know how to order more food.
Send more paramedics.
Almost like ordering Uber Eats. 3 of the friends go to the mortuary, while the other 2 run to the warehouse. Ernie goes out to get his car, only to find the dead paramedics, and he's forced to retreat back inside. As the living dead descend on the mortuary, they grab hammers and nails to seal the windows. In the process, Scuzz goes down after a zombie gets a hold of him. Spider is able to chop the zombie in half so they can seal up the window. Ernie and Spider then capture the top half and tie it down. This gives us the opportunity to learn the motive of why the dead are eating brains.
The pain of being dead.
Hurts to be dead.
It hurts to be dead. Who knew? The police finally show up to look for the missing paramedics. They're out of their cars maybe 20 seconds before the horde pounces on them. Then they order more cops to come.
Send more cops.
And just like that, more cops. Burt and Ernie decide to lock Freddy and Frank in the chapel room so they don't hurt anyone should they start acting funny. Poor naive Tina decides she wants to stay with Freddy. Stupid girl. Both men finally succumb to their slow dying and Freddy attacks Tina. Big shocker. Her screams bring all the boys to the chapel. While our remaining heroes are preventing Freddy from getting to Tina, Frank slips past them and gets out. As a last resort, Ernie throws a jar of sulfuric acid right in Freddy's face so they can escape. Unfortunately, Ernie injured his ankle dealing with Freddy. With no other choice, Burt and Spider make a run for the cop car since it's still running, while Ernie stays behind with Tina. Burt and Spider don't get very far though. They're surrounded on the road and they barely make it safely back to the warehouse. Ernie and Tina are forced to hide in an attic space at the mortuary to escape the now blinded Freddy. Then we get this great final scene for Frank. He thinks he's doing the right thing, the noble thing, but he's not. He's just making it worse. But I guess it's the thought that counts, right? By this time, Burt has had enough of this crazy shit and he takes it out on Tarman. Batter up. Did I not tell you this movie is a lot of fun? Remember Trash? She finally makes her return as one of the living dead. With the police completely overrun, Burt decides to call the army number on the side of the drum. It turns out the army has been expecting his call. They tell him that they have a contingency plan to deal with this problem. Everyone is stoked to hear the army is coming to the rescue. But then we see that their plan means firing a missile at their location. That's right, total downer ending. Everyone in the movie died. Hell, the living dead in the movie died twice. Nothing like a little strategic bombing in the middle of a US city. I love the irony of the government plan to bomb the area. No one had connected the burning of the living dead as the cause of the rain that ultimately caused the dead to rise. Basically, the ending is that the whole problem is going to repeat itself, but this time on a much larger scale. You gotta love it. This movie has everything you could ask for in a zombie film. It has zombies, it has comedy, it has gratuitous nudity, and of course, brain eating. What more could you ask for in a zombie movie? I love that these weren't the slow lumbering zombies from Night of the Living Dead. Seeing them talk and run around and actually have a strategy to get more people sent to them was pretty cool and completely new. Hell, I even saw this movie twice in the theater when it had originally opened. If you've enjoyed this trip down memory lane, please hit the like and subscribe buttons below to help grow this channel. I appreciate you taking time out of your day and hope you will come back for the next Back to the Feature.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.